Well, wait until you see the post.
What's the dog's name?
Harper. Named after Bryce Harper, the baseball player.
Hi, terrible.
And welcome to the show. Today is May 3rd. Way in advance. We're doing this show a little in advance because Danny's out of town. It's going to be the fastest intro I've ever done on this show because my guest is holding in opinions and barely keeping it together, which is stressing me out. And I'm trying my hardest to get through all this. But, you know, if you could just subscribe, rate, comment. The things that everybody says, that's all we do up top because I don't plug anything else up top. Get involved. This morning we had a lovely time with the premiere. I just clicked on it, and then a couple people were there talking, and we just had a nice time talking our way through the episode. It was a good time.
The premiere of what?
The episode that we just put out today.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm not even here yet. Continue.
You're not here yet,
No.
but you are. I'm excited you're here. But people were talking. It was great. Get involved. Send me stories. I like when people send me stories. It makes it easier for me, etc., etc. And also join us, Noah Copfer.
Hello, good friend.
Hello. And now our guest. Good Lord. I think that's the fastest I've ever done it.
Yeah.
Our guest. She's a special that is free on YouTube. She is one of the hardest people to follow, I think, in LA. I find you are very, very funny and very...
Wow, what a compliment.
It is true. That's, I think, the highest compliment I can give.
I think it is. No, I thought you meant hardest to follow on social media. I'm like, it literally is just my name.
No.
So I feel like I'm as easy to look up as anybody else, but perhaps not. But you're meaning on stage, which is a huge compliment for the listeners who don't understand stand-up. Not being able to follow someone. And by the way, I've seen people move on the lineup. I'm starting to...
It's a good feeling. I've seen it happen for me.
Yeah, because you're very funny. And I prefer somebody very funny, very funny, very I'm not there's two ways. Some people are insecure. They'd rather be in a lineup with less funny people. And I'm like, give me the funniest ever. Let's stack this show. Let's just boom, 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 boom.
I'll never understand why you wouldn't want to ride the wave of the person in front of you. Ride the wave.
Yeah,
It
because
benefits
some
everybody.
people can't ride the wave and they crash the wave, and then the host has to. That's why I don't host. I'm not bringing us back from the death.
I know. I hosted for a decade of my life.
Are you kidding?
A decade.
Well, that's why you're
for so
good.
long, I got a host instinct in me that is
wow,
built
I love
in.
that.
I love hosting.
But it's great.
Yeah,
It's the way
yeah,
in.
yeah.
I'm always like, you want to get in with a club? Host.
No, see, and I'm like, I won't get in with the club.
It's Robby Hoffman, by the way, is who's here.
Woo!
It's a golf clap.
Plus, if you're hosting, you have to stay the whole show. It is long.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they're putting 10 people on. I'm going, guys, we want 6.
Oh, I mean, listen, if you ever host a show at the Improv and Craig Robinson shows up,
Oh, it's 2 hours of your life gone.
You're spending your night at the Improv.
Yeah. And that said, so I didn't know that about Craig. And then he brought me up the first time ever at the Improv. And I brought Irene too. And
Very funny.
I was like, I'm up at the Improv. Very exciting. Legendary club, obviously. And 1:30 rolls around a.m. I'm like, he's still playing the piano. But he could not be kinder.
Could not be kinder.
Everything goes away. You're like, I wish he did another hour on the piano because
Yes.
the way that he brought me up, I thought I heard my name. I didn't. I was hallucinating hearing my name at this point. And then he brought me up and he was like, well, no, get off. Let me introduce you properly. And he did such a beautiful intro. Then he was so effusive about my set and so just talking after, was regurgitating things back to me. And every time I've seen him since has remembered me, has said hello to me. And, he's been on The Office. It's not nothing. They have big paychecks and he's just doing another show, killing it, which I saw the premiere of because my friend Carmen worked on it. Shout out. And it's actually really good. But you don't want to follow him for different reasons just because you'll be tired. It's
Yes.
not for, you'll still kill. You'll be fine because he's not about that. He's very
also,
neutral.
Very impressively, he's up there for 2 hours. The crowd is not.
No,
there are
people
people
love
who stay
him.
on stage for 2 hours and you're like,
No.
the crowd, you're just watching people be like, that's it, and walk out slowly over the course of 2 hours. It's like everybody stays. He is so fun.
At this point, it's the Improv's fault that they put him between. They know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what's going to happen.
They know. So just put him up at 11, put him up at 11:30, let him go to 1:30. No problem.
Now, with that said, this is not a show about stand-up comedy.
No,
I actually
it's
make
about
it a
sports.
point to not talk about stand-up comedy too
Okay.
much on the show because I get so tired of talking about stand-up comedy.
No, it's so much. It's so much.
It's so much. Now, you came in hot.
I come in hot. You know what? It doesn't matter where I'm coming in hot. You know what I mean? I'm sick of it. I was born basically 73 and I've had it.
Were you like that as a kid? Were you just like...
I think I feel like a trans person who, when I get to 90, like I'll look in the mirror and my body will finally match what I've been. I'm like at home in my body and I'm like, oh, and my program's on in the other room. Like it was perfect. So yeah, when you told me this was about sports, first of all, you didn't, when you booked me, tell me it was about sports. I hate sports. And I didn't want to DM that.
And that's perfectly okay for the show.
Sports is for kids.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not for grown-ups.
Okay.
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 Sports is for kids.
Okay.
It's a ball to this side, to that side in many different facets. Okay. It's like Marvel or superhero movies.
So the best
Did you
movies?
see The Batman? I saw it. It was awful. It's for kids. It's for kids.
How dare you? How dare you
Okay,
on so
there's
many
nothing.
levels?
Nobody's fucking. Nobody's doing anything fun. They're smashing and crashing their children. It's not for grown-ups. I like grown-up things.
What's a grown-up thing to you?
Like a grown-up movie, like a great romantic dramedy. Something like that. Something that grown-ups do. I don't know. It doesn't have to be that. It could be a sports movie that's about the story.
But so...
Okay, fine. Here's what I know about sports. I'm not even done this.
Okay.
Sports are men's soap opera.
100% agree
Yes.
with you on this one.
So that's what sports is. Men cannot, in an overt way, follow something like a reality TV show, even though they're all watching, because of course, something like the Kardashians, everybody is watching. So men not admitting that they're watching, it's like we see the numbers. It has to be also a lot
Yes.
of men
I think
for the amount of numbers.
And
okay?
I would say even more so The Bachelor. I think The
And The
Bachelor, the amount of
Bachelor,
dudes I know who watch Bachelor, I
Love
do not watch The
Island.
Bachelor. I
Love
do
is
watch
Blind.
Survivor and Amazing Race.
Yeah.
Those are my two.
Course. So sports lets them get away with the itch that they need to follow drama and to follow soap gossip and that sort of thing. They know everything. The sports is not about the game in the end. It's about every player's story. And this guy comes from here, and then he was
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, so that's what it is. I wish we would talk that's what it's about. They pretend it's about the score and everything else. It's like not. You're rooting for this
Wait till
guy.
you hear the title of this podcast.
Okay, what's the title?
It's called Everything But the Scores.
Oh, I love that. Okay, you sold me. This is what happens. I also look zero into things.
That's great.
I look zero into things.
I knocked over my mic with excitement as you literally said the thing.
Yeah. So that's that. And then it can be very fun. I hate when sports is somebody's personality because it's not a personality.
Well, that's also one of the reasons I genuinely like doing the show is because I like, somebody like me who is like into sports, but not like a bro and not that kind of energy. And then having people on who some people on the show know a ton about sports. Some people know nothing. And it's still like finding like, oh, sports is fun. In the same way that like, it sounds like you watch the Kardashians.
Yeah. Never missed an ep.
So it's like nothing could interest me less. But I'm sure that if you sat down and you were like, watch this episode, this moment, this thing, I'd be like, I get it.
No, and you do get it without watching it because you've watched other reality. It's not it's so you would get it without watching and without anything. I'm just telling you there's something to get, and that's that. You may not watch it because you have we're all, when somebody tells me to watch something that I'm not watching, it's like I'm watching my own things. Okay, I'm not telling people to watch things anymore. Like we all have a lot of things to watch. And you're just going to watch what you want to watch.
I will beg people to watch
this.
sports until the day I die, but only because the stories are so good.
Yeah, the stories are fine. They're fine.
Did you play sports growing up?
No.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah, the Jewish people, not a very athletic. We had,
the Jewish basketball, one of the great institutions in this country.
Oh, I'm sure.
Do you know how many Jews have thought they were incredible at basketball because they just played with other Jews?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, my brothers grew up playing basketball.
And they probably thought they were, it happened to me. It's like, I played a lot with Jews and I was like, oh, I'm great at basketball.
No, and then you played with one Gentile.
One time and you were like,
yeah.
Oh.
No, it's terrible. I don't want to brag, I was on the first girls football team in my high school. How they even had a football team.
She started with I didn't play sports. She started with I didn't play sports.
I was 2 seasons actually, but it's the stories of me on this team are comical, like you would write for like a silly comedy. Like, first of all, they instituted this team. They were like all the other Jewish, like, or we would be the only Jewish school with a football team. Basically, they started girls football. I went to school in Montreal, Canada. And they started, and other schools had teams, and then our school wanted to keep up, and they were like, we're starting girls football. So whoever wants to join the team, you can get out of Hebrew Tuesdays and Thursdays if you're on the team. So everybody just dashed to the front of the class to sign up for football because being in Hebrew for 2 more times than you need to be is just obscene.
I tried to learn Hebrew during the pandemic.
It's
horrifically
it's
for
really
me.
hard.
So hard.
Very difficult. Who's there?
There's no way that would be my fiance. She would know better than to knock on the door. She
Hello?
would text me if she must.
Hello? It's her. It is her. How are you?
Well, this just ruined.
Guest appearance.
I'm so sorry, but Danny has the keys to my car.
Danny.
You got to backup keys.
Okay, kill it.
They're downstairs. Humiliate.
I could have taken yours.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Cute. Not bad. Danny's doing pretty well.
The energy of this episode already is lightning speed.
This episode has taken a lot of twists and turns. It's opened with Robby saying, I actively hate sports. Now she's the star of a women's football team.
No, so anyway, we didn't know what was doing. Our uniforms were blue and yellow, which was very, most of the girls were like, why do the uniforms have to be this color? We didn't vote on this color. The coach was like, we can talk about the color another time. And everybody just thought the uniform was so unflattering.
Was it a male coach?
Yeah,
Was he just losing his
Avi
mind?
Satov, who's now the principal of the school. He's an incredible guy. He was like a community worker. He also taught. He's very big for a Jew. I want to say he's 6'4". He looks like Hugh Jackman.
Ooh. But
yeah, but anyway, I've known him my whole life because he was also at my camp. But he's a very reasonable guy, and people 15 high school girls were just railing into him about the uniforms being. He's trying to teach us the sport.
Not just teaching the sport, but also for sure something he had to do as a request. And now Harper's being loud. This podcast is
this is why
terrible
animals.
today. And
No,
I blame
it's actually going to be really good. The episodes of podcasts that I do happen to be some of the best episodes of the podcast. So I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this.
I'm
okay.
excited to hear it.
Maybe this is the first exception, and that I would blame you for because I'm the common denominator with all the other ones.
No, absolutely. Well, listen. I mean, we've had things happen in this show. Harper has never left her area. She suddenly has decided that she's up and at 'em. Jess came bursting in.
Jess did come bursting in. I you know what?
Came bursting in. We have backup keys downstairs. I just want to be very clear.
There's the dog. So I'm on the football team, and what happened is we never learned the game. Well, I don't think anybody ever got a handle of the X's and O's on the board and where we were going and what the plays were. At one point, I was on something called special teams.
Uh-huh.
I don't
what
really know
position
what
did you
we
play?
did. We had to stand in a line.
During
While
a kickoff?
yeah, maybe.
So someone probably kicked the ball
Yeah,
in the
so
middle?
what happened is once I caught the ball,
Ooh.
I made an interception.
Oh, so you played defense.
I guess so. Okay, but I didn't even catch the ball, Danny. It literally it came to me. I was suddenly holding the ball and it hit me in the neck face. I was so disoriented and I heard run and I just ran whatever direction. I was running the wrong direction. But the other team was so dumb because they should have stopped chasing me. I would have continued to run. Just to get them a field goal
And for
or
the record,
whatever
this
it's
has
called.
happened in the NFL. Players have run the wrong direction.
Yeah, because apparently we switched directions.
Yes,
Is
we
that
do
so-
switch.
okay.
Yes, you switched directions.
Nobody told me
That's tough.
that we were switching. So I did think I was running the right way. And they were chasing me, but now looking back at it, everybody knew it was the wrong way.
Everybody did the wrong thing.
Yeah, so I ran the wrong way, very embarrassed. And I was scared of the other school. It was
tackle?
it was touch football, but some of these bitches would they
Sure.
would two-hand kind of push.
I ref
I was
flag
small.
football for a while in New York as a side gig, and people would nail. I mean, there was some hard.
Yeah,
shots that would
it was
happen where I'd be like,
no joke. Yeah, and some people were really good at football in the end. They started getting a handle of it. I don't know why I never could quite. When Avi was talking, I was unable to put any of it together, and then to match it on the field.
Yes.
I could not. As soon as we were, I was just. There's
would-
no way to know.
You would love there's some great clips of just football players breaking down plays what they have to know in their brain to like break down a play is insane, and it's crazy because people think of athletes as like dumb jocks.
They are dumb though.
But the thing is, Robbie,
Yeah.
if you listen and talk, you're like, oh, it's the same way that like I'm kind of dumb, but then I have these areas where I'm
No,
very
you're
smart.
smart. No, here's the thing. There is a barometer for smart and dumb.
But I think that but because I think they're smart and dumb in various areas, and I think these guys, the way they're able
I
to break-
give you a little bit of that.
Thank you.
But I will say something.
yes.
It's a repetitive. It seems like they have to know a lot, but if that's all you've done, it's not that much to know. It's like knowing another language, which is hard.
Which is hard.
Okay, it is. But if you've learned another language as a child,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine.
But now, and then,
And I don't even think it's as hard as another
but let
language.
me ask you. Well, now
So
let
I'll
me say,
say
okay,
that.
but let me say this. So what if you're trying to learn another language, but the people who speak that language know you're trying to learn their language, so they're specifically going to change up their language to make their language harder for you to
That's
understand.
fine. That's fine. There's only so many ways the ball is going to go here and there.
It's a lot of ways.
Okay.
Everybody's
No,
running all sorts of different
yeah,
directions.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways, and you're going to learn all the ways. And there's fake outs, and there's this and that. And I understand you're not like athletes generally are not brilliant.
This is crazy.
Okay, and on top of it, if they
not what the
were,
show is about.
if
That's
they
not what the show is
were,
about.
they're hit in the head so many times that whatever intelligence they had is out the window.
This is
Okay, because they get
This
hit
is
so much.
not
Now
what the-
listen, I don't care. By the way, why does everybody have to be intelligent?
this is the worst show.
What?
we've
It's
ever
like
had.
the worst thing to say. Oh, well, yeah. Not everybody's so smart. What's so good about being so smart? Who cares? Why are you so offended if you're not so smart? Why are you defensive? Why is every athlete like, "Wow, I was really"? You're not. It's fine. Stephen Hawking is really smart. I'm talking in a very general. I'm talking like, fine. There's different smarts and whatever. I'm just come on. You know what I'm saying.
I think
you know what
nothing
I'm saying.
speaks to the
And-
power of a Robby Hoffman rant, and the fact that my cell phone went off in the middle.
Yeah.
I yelled at myself in the middle of that rant, and you plowed ahead.
Listen, the rant isn't fully formed. I'm not saying all. Do not come at me. I don't even care. And I'm not saying. Okay. I'm not even saying that all athletes are done, but they're not known for that. They're known for being physical.
But that's where shows like this.
Specimens
But that's where these. That's
and-
where a
and
show like
delivering
this comes
physically.
in, because that's what I try to bring attention to. Is that the cool things these people do, the way they make sacrifices. This is. I mean, I've got some stories here. But there's a chance I switch up some stories based on you not believing that these.
No, it's not that I don't believe. I just need to we all need to live in the same world to some extent. Like
Yes.
athletes are not who we're turning to for medicinal treatments and cancer. Like
Yes,
I'm guys, can we have the same conversation? They're not known and that's fine. Why do they need to be? Why do they need everything? You're a billionaire. You're gorgeous. You fuck hot people. Shut up. You have enough things. You don't get high intelligence.
We have to start the show with our theme song, but we're coming back to this conversation because I disagree on many levels.
I know, but it's like I'm talking about and I'm not saying there's all forms of intelligence. I'm not saying that, obviously. I'm just saying exactly what people think of it as. That's it.
And I say to you, what if we open up our minds and we think of intelligence as something else? And with that
I know
said,
we do. Okay.
And with that
Go
said,
ahead. Where's
hit the
intro?
theme song for the love of God and let's go.
You're a number one fan, so you know the stats. Heard all the pundits talking, so you know enough of that. Maybe it's time to hear some crazy folks chat about all the other stuff that's behind the net. But maybe you don't care about playing ball, and you want to hear the gossip whether big or small. Maybe it's time to hear some funny folks talk about what goes on when the batter don't walk. Maybe you'd like to hear a little more. Maybe you don't even care about sports. Either way, go on and buckle up your shorts. Cause this is everything but the scores with Danny Jolles. Yeah, doggity.
And we're back from the theme song, this time with sound. Welcome back. And Robbie had a great joke that unfortunately will be lost forever to
That's okay.
the depths of me not turning on the sound. There's a lot that goes into this show that people don't know about. The fact that I'm in charge of sound, I've said once and I'll say again, is a massive mistake.
It's really bad. And also your tripod dangling.
I know, because when it's up here, it's so high. Maybe I don't know what to do. I never have known what to do.
This is the fact that you haven't fixed that this happened more than once and it's not been your first thing to like get something that ties it or something is crazy.
Well, now can I say something in my defense?
Yes.
I've been really busy.
I don't give a fuck. And also, what do you like a standing desk? You're not going to sit with me?
Yeah, I like to stand because I think it keeps me aware of how long the show is going, and it keeps me activated because I do a lot of podcasts where people just sit and they're just like, so like, what else do you? And I was like, let me for an hour at least.
Can
show
I
my
tell you
guests
what
that
you're
I care.
doing?
Okay.
You're assaulting. And I know this. My brother-in-law
You're
is 6'4".
assaulting?
Look. My brother-in-law is 6'4". And do you know what they told him at work? He's like a big Macher executive. Shout out. But they said once to him at work at some job, they said, when you're talking to women, you should sit because it's intimidating to stand over women and talk to them, which he was horrified by because he's gentle giant. But this is, now I understand what they're talking to him about. You're standing over me. I'm sitting here. It's not unequal. He's pontificating from this, perch.
First off, I think that, and I guess, listen, some would call me a hero for saying what I'm about to say, but
Yeah.
I see you as somebody who is more than capable of handling.
Oh,
this
and
kind of
I am
energy. You know
100%,
what I
but
mean?
I do understand, that
I
you're
just-
standing
But
as
again,
a
that's how I see
power
it,
move.
because I'm just a hero, and I see
The
it as no.
standing is a
I don't
power
think there's
move.
enough of a power move I can make that would intimidate you.
No, and that's also true.
So you see,
But I look out for people who aren't like me.
you are the first to complain about it, but there will be
Yeah,
more.
okay.
I mean, this was a choice we actively discussed
about
for a
it.
while.
You thought about it, yeah.
about the standing, but I said
Because
I-
you're sitting, you have no complex about you. You're happy to sit next to women. It's fine.
Yeah. Imagine if I said no.
Exactly.
yeah.
Well,
Robby, can I tell you a sports story that you might enjoy?
hit me.
You're gonna love this one.
Okay. Bottom of
this-
the ninth. What is it? Okay, go.
This is a baseball story.
Okay.
And we start a lot of stories with this phrase, which is, if you don't know sports, all you need to know is that baseball is a sport that is played.
Okay.
There is a film / radio broadcast to every game, and that in baseball, not a lot happens.
No.
It can be a very slow game. I'm assuming you don't love baseball.
You know what? I like the vibe of a baseball game.
It is the best vibe for non-sports fans.
Yeah, because you're chilling, you're having a beer, you're sitting outside. It's stunning. Sometimes the
Fireworks.
sun is setting.
Fireworks at the end.
When the sun is setting, I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
we've done it.
Dodger Stadium's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But very little happens. So this is a story about a man by the name of Nick Castellanos.
Italian.
So on October 19th, 2020, during a away doubleheader between the Reds and Royals, Tom Brenneman is the...
Yawning from the story already.
Well,
Okay,
listen,
go on.
but you're gonna like this now.
No,
You
no,
get into
I'm
it.
thrilled. I'm thrilled. Go ahead. I'm fascinated.
I'm going to get you in on this.
Hit me.
So Tom Brenneman is doing the TV broadcast.
Great.
He, during a break, says a homophobic slur
Of course.
that gets caught on mic.
I love it.
Not great for him.
What was the slur?
The one.
What the F?
Yeah.
Okay, and he called somebody an F?
He said it was like the F capital of the world or something.
Okay. And by the way, probably a lot of them are in sports. That's another problem that nobody's talking about.
That
If
is a
you
problem.
like to roll around with men 24/7, start questioning.
Well, there's been some people who have come out recently,
I know.
and it's been really exciting how sports has handled it.
Yeah,
because
it's
been a
really good. I remember Michael Strahan. No,
Strahan?
no, he's the host of
Michael Sam?
of Michael and
What-
Michael Sam.
Michael Sam was the...
Yeah, I
football
know
player.
that they're both football players, but he was Michael Sam came out. I remember
Yes.
that.
And we have there's a football player for the Raiders, Carl Nassib, who came out this year and did a really just basic ass video, just like, hey, I'm gay. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but just so kids know I'm gay and it's fine.
I love that.
And it was, I mean, it's just interesting watching 20 years ago that happens in sports. Everybody's like, can a gay player be in the locker room? 10 years, and it's now it was it almost didn't even make the news.
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
guy plays. This is
The old Colton Underwood, the guy who was Bachelor.
uh-huh.
He came out. I mean, he's so cute. I watched his whole thing.
So Tom Brenneman
Yeah.
does this thing. He says that he has to then, of course, obviously at that point, someone tells him, hey, you just got caught. He knows. So he starts to do an on-air apology where he basically is like, hey, I'm done. Career's over.
Okay.
As he's doing this very sad thing, Nick Castellanos comes up to bat and hits a home run. So on the radio broadcast, you have to hear this guy go, my career's probably over. I'm so sorry. That's a home run for Nick Castellanos. And you hear people scream.
Wait, but is Nick gay?
Nope. He's just a baseball player who just hit a home run during his broadcast.
Oh,
as
and
he was
home
doing-
runs never happen, really?
Pretty rare. Probably 3 or 4 a game.
Oh, 3 or 4 a game.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay.
Happens to hit it during this guy's sad
Yeah.
apology. It's so.
I gotta listen. I would listen to that. And is the guy's life over?
Yeah. He got fired the next day. He knew it. Like literally, he hits home run. And he's like, I don't know this. He's like literally goes, I think this is probably my last broadcast. Like he knows.
How long's he worked?
Years.
Oh, good. He's fine.
It's
Give a fuck.
sad. So then the next year, there's a spring training game. Fernando Tatis, who's a great baseball player.
Okay.
You don't need to know that, but he gets injured
Okay.
and he gets walked off to the locker room, and it looks bad. And the radio broadcast is like, "Hey, we just need to report he's in the locker room. He's not doing well." And it's potentially really serious. As they're doing this, Nick Castellanos walks up to bat and hits another home run during another sad moment in a broadcast.
Oh my God. So what's with this guy, Nick? He's amazing.
He just, if something sad is happening,
Yeah.
he seems to be able.
Well, he's like Michael Jordan. Like if you watch that Michael Jordan doc, Michael Jordan's like, somebody said I couldn't do something, so I.
Oh, yeah.
It's like every time, like all you had to get Michael Jordan to do anything was tell him like you're not good,
Yes.
and he's like, the fuck I'm not, you
Yeah.
know, and like goes mental, and I'm like, this guy's psychology is on like a 7-year-old's level. It's like, guys, just literal reverse psychology works great still.
Oh,
It
yeah.
holds the fuck up with this guy. Just tell him he's not good and he'll be great.
Oh, Michael Jordan's a psychopath.
Yeah, so he's exactly like that. I love him so much, and I loved all of that documentary, and I love everybody on the
So
team.
you watched that documentary?
Yeah, of course, but that's when sport. Like I liked when basketball was still a little under the like. They were like part of like the big explosion of basketball. I feel like that era.
Yeah. Well, Jordan definitely was
Jordan,
huge.
yeah.
But
But it's like when I see Lil Nas X, and I think and I like Lil Nas X and thinks he's an
Famous for
original. It's like you don't
basketball.
think Dennis Rodman existed 25 years ago?
such a good point.
Say
Such a good
Amazing
point.
point.
while you're parading around, you think you're no, nobody's an original. This happened a billion years ago.
A billion years ago, and wasn't that big a like?
No,
wasn't it
and
like a thing?
owned
Everybody
his
was-
shit.
Everybody was just like Dennis Rodman does Dennis Rodman.
That's what we don't know if he's gay. We don't know if he's not. We don't
know.
care.
He's wearing a
He's just Dennis Rodman.
He's
He's-
wearing
oh,
a
now he's
wedding
with
dress
Carmen
to marry
Electra. Yeah.
Carmen Electra.
Yeah, he doesn't care, and they didn't care either. Like, listen, I don't know what you're into, but are you down to play? Well, you be here at this time. I don't care what
keep
you're
the
doing.
schedule.
Yeah,
Well, that is like where athletes are so cool, because athletes will make like one of my favorite statements ever is from Pat McAfee, who's now like a absolute like monster in the entertainment world. But he, back in the day as a punter, it was one of these, what if a player was gay?
Yeah,
Period.
yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
would come out as gay, something maybe during the Michael Sam
Yeah.
thing. And they were like going around, and everybody was like giving the same answer of like, I would accept them. I'm a hero. Of course I would. Like the same
Yeah.
statement. And Pat McAfee was just in the locker room. He's like, man, I got to tell you, I think it's an old person issue.
yeah,
He's like, we're all in our 20s.
yeah.
You don't think we know gay people? He's like, you're asking me an old person issue. It's an old
Yeah,
person
it's
issue.
such
And I
an
was
old
like, that's
person.
such a good way to put it. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that statement.
And it's funny because in girls' sports, which I have a problem with also, and we'll get to, but it's like everybody is gay. You know, like it would be so weird to be like, what if we had a gay golfer? It's like they're all dykes. I don't know if you know what I mean? No, and it's there's so many. It's so different. Also, girl sports doesn't hit the same because it's women, and it's not men, and I mean that in the way that women are smarter. And so getting them onto sports is a harder jump because we're watching already like we can just watch something that the character is talking about their the interpersonal issues and how they're feeling versus having this charade on top to like denote how people are feeling. We just can already handle those conversations and things versus sports is like really it's about this but really it's about this. We're already like there in the really it's about this zone, so I think sports has a higher climb. Also, I think physically different, men being so physically big and just having that I feel like their physicality I don't know, is a big part of sports. I think women...
Men can do... So the male sports can do things that female athletes usually can't do just physically.
Yeah,
But-
like it promotes just bigness and strength and stuff like that.
Yes.
And so if you can... watching women is great, but you're like, oh, there's people stronger. Like it's
Yes.
kind of makes you want to go like, what's the strongest of this thing?
Of course.
So it's you're already. You have to just keep it here. That said, it's super impressive and there's amazing things about it. And I think women in sports can be, especially like golf or something where, I think women could
Yes.
take over,
I
think that
barrier
if
can be broken.
if my sister and brother-in-law, again, they follow golf and it's like women are better putters and things like that. And like, they're more precise. I think that golf, if you let women you swing from where men swing from, without like those, the big drives, which you're only doing a few times every time you golf, from what I understand, we can kind of make up for points in all the putts.
There's a real world that a female, there's been attempts by female golfers to compete on the PGA Tour. There have been times they have. There's yet to be one who made the cut, which is like,
yeah, and that's fair.
But they're coming. But they will come. I mean, it's absolutely a thing that should happen.
Yeah. Also, that's what another sport that I watch, but only because I watched the Netflix series, was this F1 racing.
Great.
Which I'm now very into F1 racing. And I do think that we could have a female driver, which apparently we did in the 50s, just because that's also a sport where we could have the first co-ed. I rock climb 2 or 3 times a week. I think climbing is one of the things that we could have, because climbing actually, it would behoove you to be small, and lift your, actually being large can be a real detriment. Climbing is really almost dance and Pilates and strength training. And it's like, it favors a leaner,
Yes.
stringier
And by the way,
body.
Danica Patrick competed
Right.
in NASCAR
Oh,
for
she
a
did.
while.
NASCAR I don't care for. Here's why. F1 I like. F1 I like because there's something so old. The fact that a team that you build your car over a year.
Yes.
That like 150 people build a project. It feels very much like that Simpsons episode where like Bart had to race and they all had to build their own go-karts. Like it's like a project and then they all just send one guy out in it.
Yes.
There's something so primitive about that sport.
It's
to me,
awesome to
racing.
watch, and it is. But that's also because you watch that documentary. Like NASCAR has a similar feel. These people do compete,
But they don't build their cars. They don't. They don't build the car.
They don't build the car.
No, and the cars are meant to sell other cars. The cars are meant to sell their like the Civic,
Yes.
and then so they do a souped up. It's a very
That engine is good. And and by the way, just to finish this story.
Oh, please. We never get to the end of anything with me. Good luck.
Well, that's why.
I know.
That's
Good.
what I
No,
do. That's
please.
what I
You're
keep
bringing
it
us. You're
moving.
standing. I get it.
During a Royals broadcast later that season,
Yeah.
they decide to talk about the father of a film crew member who was a World War veteran who
Okay.
passed away. It gets very sad. They decide to eulogize him. Up walks Nick Castellanos, who hits another home run. He has now done it 3 times. He has ruined a sad moment with his home runs. It is a thing that now everybody's looking out for and everybody's excited about because he keeps hitting home runs whenever anything sad is happening, specifically a eulogy, apology, anything like that. And that's that. That was it. Now go ahead. What do you think?
So this guy Nick, so he needs something sad. So if I was his coach, I'd be like, okay, I'd tip the announcer $20, say somebody's cat died, and let's go. Like whatever it is, just
Yes.
keep the sad notes coming. Like when you need a fake note from school, your great uncle died or whatever else. You need the afternoon off.
Nick Castellanos is the best player if something sad is happening of all time.
Yeah,
What's
and
gonna be
by
going
the
through
way,
his head when he's running? And then he's doing a home run, like he's running around the bases, and he's like, "What is it this time?"
well,
Like
the
he's
crazy
like, "I
part
know
is-
there's something going on."
Yeah.
Yeah, because he does it because it's. I mean, I have to imagine he doesn't know when he does it, so it's got to be a thing afterwards. They're like, "You did it again." He's got to be like, what?
yeah,
Unbelievable. He's got to be so pumped.
No, and that's what that's a lot of things of life. If you go through a heartbreak and you write the best song, if you're through rock bottom and your comedy is rich or whatever it is.
There's
don't
a scene from South Park that I watch whenever I get really sad, where it's take it easy, where it's. I know
Go
it's-
ahead. I'm open. Look, be vulnerable with me. You can trust me.
There's the thing Butters says where he's sad and the goths are like, do you want to join us? And he's like, no, because I like being sad, because being sad means I get to be happy sometimes. So I guess it's a beautiful sadness. And I watch that clip all the time and it
Yeah.
makes me feel better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think in life we have this push towards happiness, and I think it's like a fake corporate made up thing. I think the point of life is probably balance. It's probably not it's happiness. It's probably like some level of balance is what you're striving towards.
You tell me another sports podcast that gets to a point like that.
Well, I'm on the podcast.
And that is true. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, hey, during this break, I like to always point out, if you see a story in sports or anything in the sports world that you like, send it my way. I'll use it. Send it to me. All right, that's it. Back to the show. And we're back. Harper is a fixture who most people can't see if you watch it, but if you follow me on Instagram, you will see the constant pictures of her. And she just keeps the guest company.
She's so cute. This is a good dog.
She's a very good dog.
I don't like dogs.
I know. You came in and you were nervous, and I was like, get ready.
I was bit by a dog very recently, another comedian's dog.
Ooh.
I won't name names. I've named them on 6 or 7 podcasts. But I told them I've said the story. They're like, please stop talking about it. We feel terrible. We might put the dog down. And I'm like, okay. I came over. The dog was yapping. Smaller than this dog, but very aggressive. Mm-hmm. Like biting like that at the fence. And I'm like, I'm so scared. And, and people, when you're scared of a dog, they say, well, don't be scared. It can sense you're scared. I'm like, and it's an instinct. I can't not be scared.
Yeah.
Even
well,
if
the dog's trying to bite me. So
we're
I'm
at a
like,
standstill now.
it can feel my heart.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's just not a solution. So it's like, please hold dog, please hold. And they're like, it'll be fine when you walk in. I'm like, please, I'd love the dog on a leash. I walk in, immediately comes up and bite. I'm like, it bit me. It broke skin. I had 2 big bite marks. Yeah. But anyway, it ended up being fine, and I was dramatic, as you can imagine. And I'd tell them every single time, I'm like, remember your dog. But they're like, we are horrified. Let this like it's worse for them.
I mean, that it is. Listen, when you walk a tiny dog, other dogs come up to her, and they're constantly like so. People will just let their dog, like massive dogs, up to her, and I'm like, she's tiny. Like, please protect her.
Yeah.
And they're off leash. These dogs off leash just come bumbling up to her. And Harper's like me. I have a joke about it where I'm like, we both walk late at night and we're like, please, nothing larger than us approach, because it's like she doesn't like a bigger dog. She
doesn't need problems.
She doesn't want problems. She's just trying to live. She's just trying to get pet and live a happy life.
Yeah, she's so cute.
She's a good dog. Our next story is about one of my favorite things in all of sports.
Mm-hmm.
Cats.
I have a cat.
You have a cat?
You bet.
What kind of cat? And that feels like
a calico, of course. Dykes and cats. It's fine. Now, here's the whole thing. I don't like cats either. It's not like I like cats or I like dogs. It's like I don't like people. I like some people. Mm-hmm. Let me develop a rapport. Just like with an animal. Let me develop. I like this dog. It does not mean I like your dog. Yes. Okay. And I like my cat. I don't like your big scary cats. These cats are enormous. Uh-huh. Okay. And there are some of them go crazy and bite. My cat's docile. I'm picking her up however I want.
You don't have allergies to it?
No, I have no allergies.
Wow.
Nobody in my family has allergies. I think
so off brand for you.
Yeah. You know what? It isn't, because religious Jews, nobody in my family got COVID. Trying to convince my family COVID was real is very difficult. I call my brother. My brother Schneider was like, do you know one person who got it? Exactly. Hangs up. I'm like, I do, He's like, exactly. But it's like none of my 9 siblings got it. They don't know a soul who got it. Everybody grew up so poor. I took a bath was always in a bath with like 2 or 3 siblings. So we were more of like in a soup. 9. So I was more like, to call it a bath is really, it was like a stew of kids, and like we were exposed to every pathogen on the planet. So we have no allergies. And Hasidic kids, religious Jewish kids, or kids who grew up in a huge family, I didn't know anybody really who had allergies or had any. We also eat really clean and kosher, and so we're not really exposed to a lot of processed things or things like that. But it's like, we're eating like meat and potatoes and like, greens. And it's just like a very basic, hearty lifestyle. But I don't know. And COVID, nobody in my family got COVID. Or maybe we got it and we didn't know. I'm at the point that even if I had it now and I had no symptoms, I'd still fly. I'd tell no one. I don't care.
So I got it like a month and a half ago ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it was, I'm vaccinated and boosted, so it was like very mild. And I don't know. The only thing was, because I'm Jewish and I know my allergies.
Right.
The feeling I had in my throat, well, not that serious. I remember being like, I've never felt this before.
Okay.
It's just a very specific type of feeling in your throat where I was like, not that I was literally lived my life in this house. Like I was not sick at all. My throat hurt a little bit, but the way it hurt, I was like, I know my allergies. I have it. This is it. And I had it.
Yeah. No, I don't know how I haven't. And again, it's possible I've got it. It's possible I will get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something. I'm not getting a fourth shot for love or money. I am writing in the fourth shot myself on my card.
I don't encourage that. 'Cause
Okay. No, that's what I'm doing. No, I don't care.
No,
If they want, if they went with a printed cardboard thing and a blue pen as their security, they're going to get what their security paid for.
I got it on my phone. You have to show your phone. They're going to get it.
No, I didn't do that ever, and I still have the card, and I'm telling you, I have a little blue Bic pen, and fourth shot with the date is going because that third shot took everything out of me.
Really?
Everything out of me. I'm too frail. Yeah.
Nothing happened to me.
The booster, more than any of the other two.
Booster got me the most, but I was like,
it was bad. So I'm not doing it. If they had another really bad strain like Delta, but they said Omicron was, I'm fine to get something mild. I don't want to get something severe.
It was very
if
mild
it's
for me.
If the next strain continues in this pattern, which scientifically it showed of something being more contagious but less potent, I'm happy to get something like that, a cold or whatever. I didn't want Delta, and I didn't want fucking the first one.
OG was terrifying. I mean, OG.
So that's why I vaccinated, but something less severe. I'm not vaccinating for a cold.
I mean,
I don't care.
I do. Listen, I hear what you're saying, and I think we're at a point where it's like truly at the moment where we can give it to each other. Two vaccinated people can give it to each other.
I don't care getting it though if it's not severe.
Once I heard that was a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I'm done caring about others.
Yeah.
Like I'm done. Like
yeah.
Anybody can do whatever they want. Once you can give it to me, because the whole thing for a while was like, hey, you guys not getting this thing puts me in danger and it annoys me. Second they were like, oh, you can give it to me. I was like, no, I'm done. I don't care. Like you guys make your choices. I don't care.
Guys, you take a blue pen.
Yeah.
It's so simple. And then you have 3 or 4 lines left on your card.
I'll get
and
that booster.
Why don't you give yourself the 6th shot on your card? I'll be the only one with 6 noted on my thing.
Right now I got the natural booster.
Oh, you got it. You still have the antibodies.
I got the antibodies. But in a couple months I'll get that. I'll get boosters forever if it makes it mild and just like
you got 6 spots left on your card, guys. You take a pen.
I have it on my phone.
I'm not doing that. Yeah, I take a picture of it on my phone.
I got like a little like thing.
I'm not doing that. No, I'm doing.
Scan it. See. That's why I do. I pop it to him.
Hey, am I on video?
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys.
Perfect.
And again, that is a federal crime. We do not encourage this behavior.
I don't know if it's a federal crime.
It definitely is. You can't.
And it's my card.
You can't lie about a vaccine. Yeah, but it's
my pen.
Right into the show is that federal.
My card, my pen.
100% a federal crime.
My card, my pen.
You cannot do it.
And I gave myself an ethereal vaccine. Okay, maybe it's not FDA approved.
What does that mean?
Maybe it was an emotional vaccine.
Oh, got it. I didn't know what the word ethereal meant.
I don't really either. I just throw it in there and hope for the best.
So anyway, so you have a cat.
Yeah.
So cats are my favorite thing in sports. This is a common trend of this show because cats are unruly. They're difficult anytime they show up in sports.
Yeah. Do they show up in sports?
They do. They'll run on the field sometimes.
No.
And every time they run on the field...
Seems like they'd be so scared on a field.
Well, they are. So that makes it better because nobody can catch them. Because as you know from having a cat, catching a cat is impossible. If they decide they don't want to get caught, you're not catching
people
them.
won't play if the cat is on the field.
Well, it's just everybody has to stop, and then everybody's job now is the entire stadium of people's...
Wait, where has this happened? There has to be a video of this.
So there's a bunch of baseball. So there's a couple...
Oh, it's baseball.
There's one called... The most famous one to me is the Rally Cat in St. Louis, which was this cat that ran on the field. They couldn't get it. Finally, this employee caught it. Started running off with it, but the cat, of course, being a cat, bites the shit out of him on TV. So you see him yelp it's just biting him, and he's just trying to run off this poor kid.
Yeah, well, the cat's so scared.
The cat is so scared and just biting the shit out of this kid.
Yeah.
And by the way, and so it happened there. Happens in football all the time.
Okay.
They'll just run on the field, and so. Right now, the exciting thing, just on a side note before we get to our actual story, the Oakland A's stadium, because nobody goes there and nobody was there during COVID.
Why?
You ever see Moneyball?
Yeah.
So it's that thing, but instead of it being cool and the team overcoming, it's the team can't overcome because they don't have a budget and nobody's coming to support the team because they're like, what's the point that we don't have any players?
They have no players.
They have no players. The budget for that team is absurd, and the fact that baseball makes them play, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Do they play games?
They do, but nobody wants to go. So as a result, there's 40, they think, estimated feral cats just living in that stadium right now.
Wow.
Just living.
Where do they get food?
They're eating rats and also the tons of food.
But they don't play in that stadium.
They do. So the
Why
team
don't the
also
Oakland
plays in the
A's, though? It's such an opportunity when you see a fixer-upper, though. Why doesn't some rich person just do that? Like, it's like buying a property
agree.
that has fix-up potential. It's like,
Well, I think
okay,
that-
so we have the team. The franchise is here. Let's one player. Let's trade these 5 for this one. Or
I
something
totally
like that.
agree, and they should do that. And then on top of that,
Or take the most
on top of that,
psychotic
there's
people who have bad grades or whatever, but they're fucking amazing at their shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what really pisses me off when I watch things like Last Chance U, which I love.
Last Chance U, I can't recommend that show enough.
And shout out to Claire Oderdonk, who's a producer and friend of mine.
Oh, way to go, Claire Oderdonk.
on that and a Cheer and everything else that they do.
Oh,
Such
Cheer
good
is
work.
also
Shout out Claire.
sensational. What?
Yeah.
Shout out Claire.
Yeah,
Shout out to Claire. Way
Shout
to
out
go.
to Claire. I'm going
Great
to tell
job
her to
on Cheer.
listen. It's
Cheer,
actually
the
my
way-
ex's friend, I should say, but my ex says we can all be friends, so I'm leaning into
As
that.
long as it's agreed upon, that's real friends.
Yeah. And Claire, you tell me if I'm wrong about that. But that these kids who are genius, and this is where I will bring intelligence. These kids are genius about their sport.
Mm-hmm.
This is their passion, and they know how to do this so well. And then they have to write an essay, like they have to do things that don't speak to them at all. And it, to me, is such a larger political issue of keeping these kids back. It's like, oh, they have to jump through these hoops of like, just red tape and bureaucracy of the system. Like you're going to hold them back from doing exactly what they were put on this planet to do, or where they feel totally alive, or where they feel totally connected because they don't write this thing or whatever classes. It's so crazy. I think that the academic stuff should be dropped. If you're that good at a sport and you're that passionate and brilliant about something and you don't love school, I don't think you should have to do it. I think you're fine. Like,
There was a great statement from, I want to say Josh Rosen, but a really good quarterback who, athletes give the same, again, a lot of them are coached on like, just answer the question as basically as you can. So every now and then somebody will like let one slip.
Yeah.
And Josh Rosen, at some point, he's a very smart guy. Went to USC. He's a quarterback, but like crazy intelligent, like just tests through the roof.
Right.
And he was like, at some point they were like, what's it like doing school? These athletes trying to do school. And he's like, let me tell you, man, I am a incredibly smart guy. I barely passed classes, and I have no clue how it's even physically possible for me to have really done all the work I was supposed to do while I was in school. Now we're talking about these other guys. He's like, there's no chance. And it just like, and the next day to come out and be like, I'm so sorry. I mean, of course they can do it. But he like, it was a very honest answer. Just like, there's no way an NCAA athlete with the amount of time they have to spend learning football.
Yes. And these guys don't have tutors, and they're coming from places or whatever where they don't have the resources. It's a way to keep the people who are the best at doing this thing not doing the thing. Yeah. So that really, really bothers me. But I think that if I was looking at Oakland, if I had billions of dollars, if I was Elon, we're buying Oakland. And we're plucking these fucking kids. We're somehow fighting the system. They don't have to do the school they don't want to do. They can do whatever they want. If they want to play 24/7, they can. I want them to be happy and fulfilled and passionate and connected. And you'll never have a better team in your life.
Would you move the team to Vegas, or you keep it in Oakland? Because Vegas is
Oakland. Go to Oakland.
You got to keep it in Oakland.
Keep them in Oakland. Make it Oakland. I like their logo.
It's a good one.
Okay, and I think they already have a movie. Like, it's just keep it there.
I do think they should embrace the movie more, and I'm surprised they don't.
It's very strange. My whole theme would be about the movie. I'd invite Brad Pitt to sit at the game. I'd invite Jonah Hill. I'd have all of them sit at the first game, and that's it. And we're going to build this team piece by piece. Kelly Clarkson song, piece by piece.
I did a thing with
collected me. You did a thing with who?
Brad Pitt.
What'd you do? Oh, yeah, you act. Wait, what did you do?
It was awesome. I'm not going to say the project, but it was awesome.
Wait, it's not out yet?
No.
But people can follow
but
it?
He had to look me in my eyes for a day.
Ooh.
And did he like you? He doesn't seem intelligent. I'm sorry.
The nicest, really nice, and the other thing I'll say about him is gave a shit. Because you've acted.
I just started acting, actually.
So
I got 2 things. Very fun.
Very fun. But as you've learned, many people show up not knowing their lines, could give 2 shits. Brad Pitt showed up, knew his lines, gave a shit, knew specific things about his character, made multiple points, being like, that shouldn't be like this. This character wouldn't have this over here. Like, stuff like that where you're just like, hey, let's fucking go. Like, way to give a shit. Like,
well, of course give a shit. You make it so... The more...
But so many people don't. I mean, I've worked with some people who are so big who could not have... Who literally... I mean, you'd literally see them be like, what are we doing? What are we doing today? You're just like,
oh,
you're
terrible.
an award winner, sir. Man.
It's terrible. Name names.
No.
Okay.
Can't name names. I only mention positive names. Brad Pitt's a positive name. That's what
Okay.
I'll mention.
He's back in my books. I didn't care for his treatment of Jennifer Aniston, of which I'm Team Jen to the day I die. And I think it's not too late for a public apology, just like he did a public shaming. I think
if I act
20
with him
years
again,
ago...
which I think we all see coming. If I act with him again...
Please let him know, because I will say this. It's like... Well, I don't know if it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. It's like, fine, you had an affair. You met somebody on a movie. Fine. Did you have to 6 months post-divorce, 6 months, be on like cover of W magazine with Angelina and 6 fake kids you have together after somebody's like heartbroken? Like, I don't understand the...
This is his life. They have to do
No,
publicity.
no,
and this is not
no.
what the show is about.
She's sitting
this show
there,
is not about
and she
this.
never said anything bad when asked about Brad Pitt
I don't
and
think
even
there was anything bad about
Angelina.
her.
He said she didn't want kids. He's like, oh, she didn't want. He was disgusting.
You had to give answers.
No, he didn't need to. You don't say anything about anybody else at that level. Shut up. Be classy. And that's that. And he owes her an apology. And she only said she wishes them the best. She's class to the day she dies. I'm Jen Aniston. I have these mics as well. Oh, no. This is what my Zoom is in. Okay. I'm selling the Zoom.
And that's a reference to something off camera nobody can see or would care about. But that's the ride with Robby.
Yeah, it is. That's the ride.
That's the ride. Anyway, there's cats in Oakland Stadium. That's all that story we were able to get out. But
Good. Well, you know what we should do? We should do a cat drive in Oakland Stadium and get these cats adopted. There's a priest somewhere down south in South America who takes a stray dog every mass or something, and he says, "By the way, this is a dog, and it needs a home." And
how do people feel about this?
No, and they take the dogs home. He does a dog a week, and you get a blessed dog from a priest. We should go there rabbinically, and we should do it like that. We should say these cats. We should host this at Oakland A's if they'll give us the home base.
Oakland A's. They don't have the money to pay us, so you have to know that going.
No,
into
well,
it.
so it's for
But-
the SPCA.
We'll do it. We'll do it ourselves
for the cats.
We'll push some cats.
Let's push cats
can
and
push
take
some
this
cats
cat
out
home
there.
if they're cute. Some of them are probably cute.
Some of them probably cute. We'll be right back. Oh, hey there. During this break in the action, I just wanted to throw out there that this is the perfect opportunity to write a comment or subscribe, or if you're listening, you can just give us a rating and whatever you want. Just this is the moment where during this break, since we don't have a Patreon or anything, this is the moment to do something like that. It'd mean a lot. All right, back to the action. And we're back. With quick hits. These are quicker stories, which with Robby, I think we'll get through half.
Yeah.
So we'll get through half of one story potentially.
Perfect.
Jordan Spieth's wife, Jordan Spieth won a golf tournament. He's a golfer.
Good.
And his wife ran out to greet him afterwards, and she ran out carrying his baby like a football. And it was one of the most startling things I've seen in quite some time. Your thoughts?
She's fine.
Okay.
Babies are so... people got way too delicate with babies. You can throw a baby into a pool. It's fine. I'm telling you. Like, also, like Hasidic people or religious Jews, how they handle babies would alarm everybody.
I'm sure.
But one-handed holding, like, we're very natural with babies.
That's
Babies
interesting.
are very malleable.
'Cause
Babies
she
are
runs
flexible.
Like this. She runs out to
That's
greet him
fine.
like this, and the baby immediately starts to cry, of course. But you say fine.
Fine. You can scoop up baby. Babies are going to cry. They're fine being uncomfortable. It's not the worst thing. It's like you're not killing a baby. You're not hurting a baby. I don't understand. I think you can hold a baby in a lot more ways than people think. People, no, the baby is, past a few weeks. Like the baby is strengthening. It's fine.
Love that.
I don't look at some countries. They have a baby on the head. They're walking. They're grabbing melons. They put the baby like. Babies are a lot more, what is even the word I'm looking for, resilient than you think. and handling them in this way. There's so many babies in other countries who are totally flung and whatever, and it's fine. I'm not encouraging.
I don't hold anybody's baby. I won't hold a baby.
Yeah, I can hold a baby one. If babies are very, I just forgot the word again. Resilient. Yeah. Listen, I'm not encouraging Michael Jackson holding a baby over a railing to drop the baby for no reason.
Sure.
That is dangerous.
The ultimate
but running with a baby and the baby's crying because it's
error.
scared for 2 seconds is fine.
Yes.
It's going to learn that sometimes it's going to go fast and it's going to be scary and it's going to be more resilient towards that.
I think this is an interesting defense.
Yeah, she's fine. How's the baby now?
Fine.
So everybody goes her an apology. The baby's fine. Thanks. This lady I like, and I hate that other guy.
I'll tell you, you zig and zag on me. So it's no.
That's it. This lady is totally fine. She knows her baby. You're going to tell her how to hold her baby? Shut up. So weird. So weird.
It was weird. But
It's literally my
weird.
baby. It's like, hi, it's my baby. Shut up.
And that's what she should have said.
Yeah. What did she say?
I don't think she said anything, actually.
Good.
I think I was one of the few people who really picked up. But it just was startling. The way she ran out.
Yeah, it's startling. Sometimes babies are going to have to learn to be startled. They have to learn everything. They're starting. You're going to learn hot, cold, startled, fast. You're learning everything all the time. It's all going to be scary, and you're going to cry a lot. Babies cry a lot. Everything's terrifying.
And with that, let's wrap up the show.
All right.
Oh, hey, during this break in the action, I have nothing else to say. I just want to give us a break in the action. Thank you for watching. Keep subscribing, rating. All right, let's go back. Robby, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
You guys can follow me on social media. Nudes occasionally on Instagram at Robby Hoffman. And some pretty viral, semi-viral tweets. What did I have? 76K the other day.
What?
Yeah. I'm doing well on Twitter. I am Robby Hoffman on Twitter, Robby Hoffman on Instagram. You can catch my Just for the Laughs 1 hour special now is free on YouTube.
Let's go.
It's a couple sets on YouTube.
And go see Robby live.
And I'm live all over. I'll be in New York next week, Canada, back here. Check my Insta stories. I post shows day of or a few days before. That's all I have it in me to do. You got to catch my story or that's that. I'm not posting these on a website. I don't have it in me. So just catch the stories and come out.
Done. That's beautiful. Noah, anything you'd like to plug?
Same. Follow socials. Noah Copfer on Insta, and then my YouTube special, Deep Breaths.
Follow Noah.
Oh, fun.
And then for me, by the time this has come out, I will have just done a synagogue show in D.C. But
Happens.
But I will. I'm out and about. I have a bit June 4th filming my special in L.A. So that's going to be the big one. And so just keep everybody focused on that. And now we close every show with the same thing. This is a little thing we like to call 3 shots of glory.
Okay.
Robby,
What's this?
you'll have 3 shots
Okay.
from the couch to this hoop.
Oh, fun. Okay, I'm terrible at this.
Well, let me tell you, nobody.
What do I do for the shots?
What does that mean?
What? So 3 shots.
3 shots.
What do they do though if I get them?
We're still deciding. We think we're going to potentially put up a headshot of everybody who hits one.
All right. Oh, who hits one? Does people never get them?
So far we are over. So far we're over 2. So this is the first shot. Okay, but actually very good. A good start.
Where is it?
It went underneath. It's not the most efficient setup we have. So the first shot, just for the people.
You have to sit?
Yes. So for the people listening, just so you know, the first shot was closer than most. Very good. Second shot, a little short, but we're getting closer. She caught it. Now wait. Let's set the stage. Final shot. Final moment.
You ruined my momentum. This is what he does. I could have gotten that one.
Oh, an
Give me
off
3
rim.
more.
Can't get 3 more. That's the end of the episode.
more.
We'll see you next week.
Give me one more.
You're a #1 fan, so you know the stats. Heard all the pundits talking, so you know enough of that. Maybe it's time to hear some crazy folks chat about all the other stuff that's behind the net. But maybe you don't care about playing ball, and you want to hear the gossip whether big or small. Maybe it's time to hear some funny folks talk about what goes on when the batter don't walk. Maybe you'd like to hear a little more. Maybe you don't even care about sports. Either way, go on and buckle up your shorts. 'Cause this is everything but the scores with Danny Jolles. Yeah, doggity.